It's been over 50 years since the last production series front-engine V12-powered Spyder was produced, the 365 GTS 4. So the return of this car type is such big news for Ferrari and, crucially, meeting the growing demands of the supercar buying fraternity. The 812 GTS is a standalone model and is derived from the 812 Superfast Coupe, and not only is it the most powerful Spyder on the market, but, thanks to its retractable hardtop and feasible trunk space, it's pretty practical too. Although it was first unveiled in September 2019, the 812 GTS launched in the US in 2020 as a 2021 model. It shares its mechanical package with the 812 Superfast Coupe, which is to say a screaming 789 horsepower 6.5-liter V12 that revs to nearly 9,000 RPM and 530 pounds-foot of torque with a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission, and the engine uses the highest pressure fuel injection system ever fitted to a gas-powered car at 5,076.3 psi. However, it distills those thrills courtesy of the visceral quality the folding hardtop brings and the extra engine noise it liberates. The 812 GTS is the most powerful car in its class on sale today, easily beating competitors such as the 710 horsepower McLaren 720S Spyder and the 715 horsepower Aston Martin Superleggera Volante. It's everything we came to love in Ferrari's front-engine superfast coupe, dialed up to 11 without a roof. The supercar is good at 0 to 62 miles per hour in 3 seconds or less, and a top speed of 211 miles per hour. The exterior gets a few model-specific features such as multi-spoke 20-inch forged wheels available in diamond finish, liquid silver, and grigio scuro. A range of colors on offer includes, of course, red, the default Ferrari color. That's not the only option, of course. Ferrari lets you choose from solid colors like Giallo Medina, Rosso Scuderia, and Nero. There are metallics like Grigio Alloy and Nero Daytona, and the historical palette includes gorgeous colors like Avorio, Verde British, and Blue Scotia. The standard features include exterior bits such as carbon ceramic Brembo brakes, adaptive suspension, and LED headlights. On the inside, you get standard leather bucket seats, cruise control, and automatic climate control, as well as an infotainment system mounted behind the steering wheel, with Bluetooth streaming and Apple CarPlay integration. Staunch would be the best word to describe the Ferrari 812 GTS. It's a gorgeously mean-looking thing that makes its presence known on the road. It's quite a lengthy car at 184.8 inches and is 77.6 inches wide. The 812 GTS sits 50.3 inches off the ground and rolls on a 107.1-inch wheelbase. Dry weight comes in at 3,627 pounds. With the engine mounted in the front, you'd think that the 812 GTS will suffer in the handling department, but as it turns out, the engine is actually mounted behind the front axle, which technically makes it a front mid-engine car, shifting the weight distribution to the rear of the car in a 47-53 split front to rear. What that means is that the 812 GTS pivots around the driver beautifully and makes it seem like a much smaller car. And as far as 800 horsepower supercars go, it's surprisingly forgiving and easy to drive fast, as long as you keep the traction control on. The 812 GTS will manage 12, 15 and 13 miles per gallon on the city, highway and the combined respectively. At least Ferrari has fitted the 812 GTS with a decently sized fuel tank, with a 20.2-gallon capacity, giving the 812 GTS a maximum range of around 262 miles. The Ferrari 812 GTS is a two-seater Grand Tourer convertible. The GT moniker would make you believe that there's lots of space inside the cabin of this Italian beast, and you'd be correct to a certain extent. There's good shoulder room between passenger and driver, which creates a good sense of space, and legroom is adequate for 6-foot-tall adults. Getting in and out of the 812 GTS is easier than on some of Ferrari's more sport-focused cars, such as the 488, and once inside, the GT-styled seats offer excellent support and comfort. The front-engine layout of the 812 GTS affords it a modicum of practicality in terms of trunk and cargo space, despite the engine sitting behind the front axle. With the foldable hardtop in the upright position, The Ferrari 812 GTS will offer a respectable 8.8 cubic feet of trunk space, which bests the McLaren 720's Spyder's 7.3 cubic foot frunk and manages to beat the Aston Martin DBS Superleggera Volante's 7 cubic feet. The 812 GTS will fit two folded-up electric scooters for cruising around the pit area at the Monaco Grand Prix. Small item storage is almost non-existent. There are small door pockets and a center console storage nook, large enough for a phone or set of keys. Most people tend to overlook the basic features list on most Ferraris, preferring to focus on the technical details such as engine construction, downforce stats, suspension setups, and brake system performance, but the 812 GTS does offer a few creature comforts as well. New owners can expect to see LED headlights, powered and heated wing mirrors, adaptive magnetic suspension and Brembo carbon ceramic brakes, tucked behind 20-inch forged wheels. On the inside, the 812 GTS offers cruise control, automatic climate control and heated leather seats. Ferrari has done its best to keep the 812 GTS on the road despite the best efforts of multi-millionaire soccer players and actors. With their Ferrari peak performance, virtual short wheelbase 2.0, and side slip angle control systems, which are all designed to warn the driver when they are reaching the limit of the car, and then controlling what happens after that limit has been breached. The 812 GTS might be a more laid-back Ferrari, despite having close to 800 horsepower on tap and features a more mature interior, but it shares its driver-focused infotainment system with the rest of the Ferrari supercar range. What this means is that the infotainment display gets split between the dominant tachometer behind the steering wheel, basically eliminating the passenger's ability to interact with said system. The infotainment system on the 812 GTS features updated software, improved usability, and contemporary tech, such as Bluetooth streaming, navigation, and owners can option to have Apple CarPlay capability, but Android users are out of luck. The optional passenger infotainment screen is mounted in the dashboard in front of the passenger and displays speed, gear and navigation information. All 812 coupes and convertibles come with a 6-speaker stereo. The setup isn't the easiest to use, but is miles better than systems of old. This is the 2022 Ferrari 812 GTS Ultimate Edition from Mansory.